Jewish community has welcomed the Prime Minister's announcement of a federal royal commission into anti-Semitism and social cohesion. It follows weeks of sustained pressure on Anthony Albanese to initiate the federal inquiry into the Bondi Beach tragedy. The Royal Commission will be led by former High Court Justice Virginia Bell and has 4 key tasks: examining how best to tackle anti-Semitism and what drives it, recommend any law changes to help police, intelligence agencies, border security and the immigration system combat anti-Semitism, look into all the circumstances around the Bondi Beach attack, including how governments responded to anti-Semitism in the years prior, and make any further recommendations to combat religiously motivated extremism. Let's speak live now to New South Wales Jewish Board of Deputies Chief Executive Michele Goldman. Michele, thanks for your time on Sky News today. The Prime Minister says he has listened and that Royal Commission will go ahead. What's your reaction?
3 times a day reading.
It's one of great relief. So after weeks of debate and an outpouring of support from all walks of Australian life, we've seen artists, political and business leaders, lawyers, sporting legends all put their names to a call for a royal commission. We're relieved that the Prime Minister has now established one. It's the highest form of inquiry. It's the one with the power and independence we need to get to the bottom of how we got to a point where what happened at Bondi happened and where we've seen anti-Semitism escalate to the levels, alarming levels that it has in Australia.
How satisfied are you with the terms of reference that have been laid out?
The terms of reference are broad. They allow us to explore the prevalence and nature of anti-Semitism, the response of security, intelligence and other agencies. They allow us to also explore things like how we can strengthen social cohesion, which is very much needed, and combat extremism. So we believe that the terms are broad enough to do the work that needs to be done, and it's now just ensuring that the rigour is applied to how the commission is conducted, so we can really understand what led to the failures that allowed Bondi Massacre to happen, that have contributed to the rise in anti-Semitism, the climate that has allowed anti-Semitism to take root and to fester, and also the spread of religious and ideological extremism in this country.
And how confident are you the Jewish community will continue to be listened throughout this process and that it will be a transparent one?
Thousands of people have been coming.
Well, we will certainly commit to making sure that the voices and experiences of the Jewish community are brought to the fore, are heard. I don't think Australians have really understood just how far anti-Semitism has come in the small space of just 2 years in this country. So it's our job to make sure that those voices are escalated and that as a country we can reconcile what has happened and to make sure that we have a roadmap and a pathway to combat hate.
You said Australians hadn't realised how bad anti-Semitism had got. Have they realised that now? How has it been for you personally and other people in the Jewish community? It's not even been a month since that massacre happened.
I think there's been an outpouring of support from all over Australia, and it's been like a big warm hug for the community. We're traumatised. We have people in the community that are survivors of the Holocaust. We have people in our community who have undergone terror. They've come from Israel. We have people in the community who are parents and grandparents that have been subjected to pogroms and exiles and all forms of persecution. So for us, it's sadly not a new story, and we could see the direction things were heading. But of course, in this great country, where there has up till now been a culture of tolerance and inclusion and respect for everyone, I think it's been a real shock and an awakening, and an important one, because anti-Semitism is like a cancer and it's been metastasizing, and we need to cut it out at the root and put it right back to the fringes of society where it belongs. And I think Australians now understand what the Jewish community have been saying, that anti-Semitism unchecked can lead to violence, and although we were very concerned we would see the violent acts of fire bombings and vile graffiti and defacing of buildings lead to something that could cause a serious injury or death. I mean, it's beyond even the imagination of the Jewish community, the scale of the massacre that occurred here. 15 precious souls have been taken and lives have been shattered irrevocably forever. Our sense of safety has been shattered. So this Royal Commission is an important opportunity for this country to understand what's happened, to take stock and to move forward to ensure nothing like this can ever happen again.
Yeah, and the ban on public protests in New South Wales was recently extended, and some have complained about that. What would you say to those people about how raw the feelings are still within the Jewish community?
Yeah, I mean, just this week there was still another burial of Peter Maher, so I think it is completely insensitive of anyone who wants to take to the streets and protest when protests have been themselves a platform for hate and division at a time when we've undertaken one of the worst terrorist attacks this country has ever seen, and the country just needs to grieve and mourn and heal. I think it's completely insensitive at best, cruel at worst, to take away people's liberty to mourn and grieve such a tragic loss.
OK, Michele Goldman, many thanks for your time on Sky News this morning. We really appreciate it. That's Michele Goldman, who's Chief Executive of the New South Wales Jewish Board of Deputies.